big news from Washington. This afternoon, President Trump held an event at the White House to announce his new Liberation Day tariffs. Yeah, in his speech, Trump said, "We'll make America wealthy again like it was at the start of my presidency." Yeah, Trump announced tariffs on aluminum, steel, and several other items that popped into his head mid-speech.
Jimmy Fallon delivered sci-fi satire gold, roasting Elon Musk's Mars fixation and Donald Trump's comeback ambitions in one swift comedic jab. Picture Musk launching tweets into orbit while Trump attempts to trademark gravity. The internet's torn, laughing or gasping, as Fallon blends late-night charm with futuristic absurdity. It's surreal, sharp, and hilariously on point.
Listen to this. Apparently, Trump told his cabinet that in the next few months, Elon Musk will leave the administration and go back to running his companies. Yeah, that's the equivalent of strongly hinting to a guest that you'd like them to leave. It's like, well, it's getting pretty late, I think.
Fallon's monologue practically buckled under the weight of its own sarcasm. One moment, he's joking about avocado toast. The next, he's impersonating Trump announcing tariffs like a deranged game show host. Spin the wheel of economic despair. The price, a microwaved iPhone and a $300 Bluetooth toaster plastered with an American flag stickered. It felt like a glitchy Black Mirror episode coded in the 1980s and sponsored by corporate nostalgia.
My companies are suffering because I'm in the government.
Today, Elon Musk posted something on X that got people's attention. He wrote, "There is a shortage of top-notch air traffic controllers. If you have retired but are open to returning to work, please consider doing so." That must have been a fun tweet to read while you're in mid-flight today. What? We're going to go ahead and turn off the go-go Wi-Fi for a little bit. And,
The real jolt came when a third-term joke tumbled out of the MAGA echo chamber and landed in Fallon's lap like a flaming constitution. 3 terms. Not 1, not 2, but *3, like the number of Diet Cokes Trump likely chugged while dreaming it up. Fallon didn't flinch, he pounced, roasting it with razor-sharp precision.
When asked if it's appropriate to sell sponsorship at the White House, Trump said, "It's actually called the Papa John's White House." Some more news from Washington. I read that the U.S. is targeting a truce agreement between Ukraine and Russia by April 20th. Yeah. Right. Hey.
The laughs grew louder, not nervous chuckles, but the kind that spill out when reality starts sounding like improv night at a retirement home for washed-up autocrats. Fallon had the audience grinning ear to ear as he peeled back the absurdity of a narrative where clinging to power wasn't just possible, it was the joke itself. And just when the orange glitter seemed to settle in, or rather, out, stepped Elon Musk, cueing the next surreal twist.
Trump's playing a dangerous game. If PBS stops airing those old doo-wop concerts, a bunch of 80-year-olds are going to storm the Capitol. That's what I'm telling you. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. You watch those shows? To be honest, I'm kind of shocked Trump hates PBS because he goes to the same tanning salon as Ernie and Daniel Tiger. So you would think that.
If you're enjoying this, please subscribe. Trump let it slip, maybe by accident, maybe as a power move, that Musk was being edged out of the inner circle. Fallon pounced, painting Musk ejecting himself from the administration via Falcon 9, tweeting midair, "Too cringe. Must ascend." It had the drama of a teen rom-com and the stakes of an intergalactic trade deal. Fallon wasn't just mocking, he was decoding the chaos in real time, hilariously and fearlessly.
Guys, Trump is now saying that the U.S. will have a deal to save TikTok by the April 5th deadline. Yep. Though right now China's like, who needs to spy through TikTok when you leak everything in group chats? We're good. Of course, everyone's still talking about the White House's group chat scandal, but I saw that Trump said it's, quote, really not a big deal. That's a relief. I mean, he said the same thing about COVID and no problems there.
Every jab Fallon made about Musk's quiet exit hinted at something deeper. Even billionaires with rocket fuel want out when politics veers into absurdity. The laughter wasn't just from good jokes, though they were sharp, it was because those jokes held up a mirror. This wasn't typical late-night fluff. It felt like someone finally translating chaos into comedy that punched up, not sideways. Fallon hardly needed to try. Trump handled the setup himself, announcing new tariffs on Asian tech imports like rebooting the trade war with some hot Netflix drop. Trade Wars, The Reckoning, now streaming in every confused household near you.
Yep, Elon Musk wants every federal employee to list 5 things they did last week to prove their value. Well, Elon himself is a federal employee, so we went ahead and put together a recap of his weekly schedule. Check it out. Sunday, layoffs. Monday, speech. Tuesday, layoffs. Wednesday, post some memes. Thursday, fire FDA. Get bird flu from RFK. Friday, get some brunch with Ye. He's now in charge of the CIA.
The sequel no one asked for stormed out of the political vault like a direct-to-DVD flop no one pre-ordered. Trump, in full bluster, claimed this would somehow make America tech again, which, as Fallon joked, meant slapping 100% tariffs on anything with a circuit board, lithium battery, or post-1994 vibe. Spinning his chair like a late-night Bond villain, Fallon mocked, "We're putting tariffs on anything with a battery, and also sushi. It's suspiciously efficient. You can't trust a lunch that assembles itself." The crowd roared, half in laughter, half unsure if it was parody or policy. The line between satire and speech had fully evaporated.
Everyone's wondering how Trump decided on a tariff rate for each country. Well, it turns out a very precise mathematical formula was created, and then Trump just said, "Forget that, we're doing it Plinko style. Let's go. Let's see what the tariff is." Oh, I also saw that Trump actually used a chart to announce the specific tariffs. Can we see a photo? This is real. Yeah, look at. It's like he stole the arrivals board from LaGuardia.
Then came the skit. Trump sat at the negotiation table with AI bots from South Korea and Japan. Fallon, in a dollar store wig, squinted at a smart speaker. "Alexa, tell China we're raising the tariffs." The speaker paused. "I think you mean Japan," it corrected. Trump grunted, "They're all doing suspiciously well, aren't they?" The bot responded with a loop of sighs and pain. Fallon wrapped it up with Trump threatening to tariff the internet until it learns to speak only English. What made the skit land wasn't just the absurdity, but how it mirrored reality. Fallon portrayed Trump's economic strategy like someone trying to patch a sinking ship by slapping a MAGA hat on the hull and declaring water is fake. The punchlines cut deeper, highlighting how policies marketed as patriotic were self-sabotaging. American companies dependent on imported components would bear the costs, pass them to consumers, and hope to survive. Meanwhile, Trump tweeted about economic tremendousness, as if adjectives could save Wall Street.
Yeah, Trump announced tariffs on aluminum, steel, and several other items that popped into his head mid-speech. He also expanded the tariffs on aluminum to include canned beer. Even Kid Rock was like, what are we doing here, man? What's going on? The tariffs will raise prices for Americans and costs could go up by $3,000 per year. Netflix was like, game recognized game. There you go. All right.
Fallon's takedown didn't just mock the policy, it shredded the entire packaging, the slogans, the shallow nationalism, the economic illiteracy. One moment he's reenacting Trump high-fiving a fax machine, the next he's pointing out through satire that slapping tariffs on Asia doesn't magically create factories in Detroit. It just stirs up international tension. By the time Fallon had Trump threatening to slap a tariff on Google Translate for knowing too much, the absurdity of the moment had fused with reality. The jokes weren't exaggerations anymore. They were translations of actual policy, and that made it even funnier. Just when it seemed like economic chaos was enough for 1 week, the third-term fantasy floated back in, like a bad tweet that won't stay deleted, or worse, the lawful. It wasn't an official campaign announcement, more like a trial balloon inflated with ego and nostalgia. As always, Fallon caught it midair and popped it with comedic glee. And his latest bit, Fallon fast-forwards to 2032, where Trump delivers the State of the Union as a flickering hologram projected from a Mar-a-Lago golf cart, hair more airborne than ever, still insisting the 2020 election was stolen. The fictional cabinet, a mishmash of cardboard cutouts, relatives, and one confused AI muttering, "Error 404, democracy not found." Fallon played it deadpan, sharpening the absurdity with every line.
Tonight, President Trump complained about a portrait of himself that's hanging in Colorado's state capitol building. He called it distorted and truly the worst. Can we see the portrait? Yeah. Not bad. Can I see it again? That's not bad. He looks like he headbutted a beehive. Like he's
The brilliance of the sketch wasn't just its over-the-top humor, it was how unsettlingly close it was to the real-life spectacle. That's what made people laugh and squirm. The third-term chatter is always delivered with a wink and a shrug, like, oh, come on, relax. It's just a joke, but jokes lose their humor when they start mirroring the playbooks of strongmen. Fallon made sure the laugh landed with a jolt of awareness. He didn't need a law degree to nail it, just a mock game show called Can Trump Name the Constitution, where the only contestant is Trump and every question revolves around the 22nd Amendment. The rules are simple, you can't run again. The skit spirals into a spoof press conference where Trump, surrounded by red, white, and gold, insists the two-term limit is more of a guideline. Fallon nails the tone, not explosive rage, but the unsettling mix of denial and entitlement that turns a serious issue into a cartoonish, yet real threat. That's what normalization looks like, not marching boots, but bad jokes repeated often enough to lose their sting and grow roots.